Hi guys, Samantha here. In today's video, we're going to talk about some free, cheap, and unique souvenirs and experiences you can have on your next trip to Walt Disney World. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, Sam's Fairy Tale Life. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe down below and click the little bell icon so you don't miss any future content. And consider following me on Instagram, which will be linked down below. And let's get started. Today I have 8 things I want to go over with you guys that are either free, cheap, or unique experiences and souvenirs that you can do on your next trip to Disney World. So the first thing that I want to talk about is pin trading. Now this can be both cheap and unique. And both a souvenir and an experience. So pin trading is you, as a guest, you can trade a authentic Disney pin with any cast member throughout Disney. So that means cast members in the parks, in Disney Springs, in your hotel. Any cast member, they will be wearing either a lanyard or like a little cloth piece around their belt. The only time you can't trade with a cast member is if their lanyard or belt piece is green. That means that they'll just trade with kids. Otherwise, anybody can participate, and you can get the pins relatively cheap, either like you can check the Disney website like in the sale section, or if there's a sale going on where you can get 30% off, anything like that, or you can go to your local Disney store or Disney outlet. Sometimes you can buy really cheap ones there. I know in my outlets near me, I've seen them for like 99 cents. So you could go and just buy multiples, and then you're going to trade them away anyways, so it doesn't matter. There are lots that you can buy like on eBay and stuff of Disney pin lots. The problem with those is, I would say if you get a lot of 40 pins, probably at least half of them are going to be fake. And technically a cast member can't tell you no, so technically you can trade them in the parks. But there are people who collect these pins like for value, and then there are people who just collect them for fun. I'm someone who just collects them for fun. I don't really know too much about, like, each pin comes out in a set and people try to collect a set. I just kind of collect what I like. So to me, even if I were to trade and end up with a fake pin, that doesn't necessarily bother me. But some people out there it might, so definitely consider checking your pins if they're authentic or fake if you do take the eBay route. If you have any questions on pin trading, let me know down below, and maybe I can do a video completely dedicated to pin trading and like the etiquette and stuff surrounding it. But otherwise it can be done relatively cheap, and it's definitely a unique souvenir that you can bring home, because some of the pins are not available for purchase. They're like what they call like a cast member pin, or a hidden Mickey pin, meaning you can't buy them. You just have to trade a cast member in order to get them. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is pressed pennies. I'm sure all of you know what those are. I mean, everywhere has them. Every theme park across the country has them. Aquariums, zoos, everybody's got pressed penny machines. But they're definitely a cheaper option for souvenirs, because sometimes it can, will cost you 50 cents plus a penny to press it. There are machines throughout Disney, like hundreds of them, all around the different properties, which makes for some unique finds. I know there are whole websites online dedicated to maps telling you where all the penny machines are. I know like Pandora and Animal Kingdom just recently got its first pressed penny machine, and if I remember correctly, it actually takes credit cards. So you could do multiple pennies from there. And sometimes they'll press quarters as well. So that's an option too. Just head down to the bank, get a couple rolls of quarters and a couple rolls of pennies, and that's a relatively cheap souvenir in terms of, the grand scheme of what you could spend in Disney. It's definitely a cheaper choice, and it's something you can do throughout your whole trip, and then maybe you can come home and make some sort of picture with them, or they do sell the books where you can just put them right in there. And then so the next one I want to talk about is autographs. Now this falls into every category. It's technically free and cheap if you're buying like a book for them to sign, and unique, and it's both a souvenir and an experience. You wait in line, you meet your favorite character, so that's an experience in itself. And then you can have them sign a variety of things. I mean, I've seen all kinds of stuff floating around online where people will take the mat to a picture frame and have them sign that. So then when they go home, they put the mat and a picture in the frame of their trip, and that's a nice way to commemorate it and display it, because the standard, which I feel like every kid who's ever been to Disney gets, is the autograph book. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the autograph book, but if you want to display it, that's a little hard. So you could have them sign, I've seen pillowcases, the canvas bags, t-shirts. Some people they'll buy a small little picture book, and they'll bring index cards, and they'll take a picture with the character, and then they'll have the character sign the index card and display them in the book next to one another. So like I said, technically getting the autograph is free. You just have to pay a small cost to purchase whatever you want to have them sign on. And do make sure that you bring Sharpies, as Sharpies are easier to hold and write with for your gloved characters. And then the next thing I want to talk about are the celebration buttons. Now these are completely free. You can get them for a variety of reasons. What you would do is, I'm pretty sure all hotel lobbies offer them if you go down to the front desk, as well as guest services in all the parks. Now a celebration button is a little button that you get to say you're commemorating something, whether it's a birthday, a honeymoon, an anniversary, your first trip. They'll give you a celebration button to commemorate it, and it's completely free. And if you're not technically celebrating anything easy, like maybe you're celebrating a promotion at work or a new job, they do offer blank celebration buttons, and you can kind of fill in with a Sharpie what you're celebrating, job promotion, or whatever it is that you're celebrating. Maybe you're celebrating that you just ran your first marathon. Whatever it is, you can write it on the button and wear that instead of one of the traditional ones. And I definitely recommend the celebration buttons. They're a cheap, they're completely free, so they're a free souvenir. But also wearing that button, you never know what that could get you. It's not uncommon for cast members to see your button and reward you in some way with a little pixie dust, whether it's, an extra fast pass or whatever it is. So I definitely suggest it for that too, because you never know what could come out of it. Now, obviously, they're not obligated to give you anything for wearing a celebration button, but they do that sometimes. And then the next thing I want to talk about is a free experience you can have in Walt Disney World, and that is every night at Fort Wilderness, there is the Chippendale campfire followed by a movie. So this is one of the few times you can meet a character outside of the park, which is nice too if it's not a park day, or you're just looking to save a little bit of money, or maybe you don't want to wait in line to meet these characters in a park. You get to meet Chip and Dale and have a campfire and cook s'mores and sing-alongs, and then they follow that by a movie outside with like a screen, and they provide some seats. So that's kind of a nice way to maybe wind down at the end of your trip, or in the middle for, you know, if you're taking a resort day, you can head over there. Even if you're not staying in Fort Wilderness, you can still go there and participate in the event. And then the next thing I want to talk about that is a very cheap souvenir that you can get while also doing something good is at Animal Kingdom. When you purchase something in a gift shop, they'll ask you if you want to round up your purchase. So, you know, if your purchase comes to $19.50, they'll ask you if you want to round up to $20. And by rounding up, you're donating to animal conservation and, you know, all that stuff that Animal Kingdom provides. And by doing so, you get a special conservation pin. You know, it's kind of similar to the celebration buttons in size, but you can only get this pin if you round up your purchases. So it's cheap. You know, it's under $1 unless you want to donate more. It's under $1. So that's cheap. Again, in the grand scheme of what you're spending in Disney, an extra 50 cents to help animals, I think is a good, cheap, unique souvenir. And then the next thing I want to talk about is at the Grand Floridian in the lobby, they have the Society Orchestra, which they play a variety of music. It's a full band of professional musicians that play throughout the day in the lobby of the Grand Floridian. So again, you don't have to be staying there. You can go and just sit in the lobby or grab a drink at the bar and, you know, sit and enjoy the music. It's completely free to listen to them. And they play a variety of, you know, jazz music and all that, you know, all that stuff. So that's definitely, again, if you're having a resort day or you're just looking, you know, for an experience you might not have had before on previous trips to Disney, I definitely suggest checking that out. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, again, a free and very unique souvenir that you can bring home. And it's kind of an experience too. At the Art of Animation Hotel, a couple times a day in the lobby, they offer drawing classes. Like, they'll teach you to draw iconic Disney characters in, you know, in the style of traditional animation. It might be Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, you know, whatever it is. And then you get to take the drawing home that you draw. And it's completely free to participate, and you do not have to be staying at the Art of Animation Resort. You can just contact the lobby and ask for the times that they're doing it. It's usually about 3 times a day, starting sometime in the afternoon. And each time they do it during the day will be a different drawing. So if you're having a resort day and you are staying at the Art of Animation, you could go to all 3 classes and draw 3 completely different pictures. And that's something definitely unique that you could bring home and display if you wanted to, you know, frame them at home or whatever you wanted to do with them. But it's completely free and you don't have to be staying at that resort. So even if you're staying off property altogether and you wanted to check out some of them, you could take, you know, you could drive there and you could check out that and do that. And that's a nice way to experience a Disney resort and a Disney experience, even if you're not staying on property. And that's it. That is 8 free, cheap, and unique souvenirs and experiences you can have while in Disney World. And I have more of these lists like in mind for future videos. So if lists like this interest you, definitely subscribe down below. You know, I plan to do maybe like my top 5 things in each park, my top restaurants, my top rides, you know, maybe some more of these unique experience type lists as well. So again, subscribe down below, leave me a comment down below if you're interested in a pin trading video, like a video devoted just to discussing pin trading, and maybe I can pull out my collection and kind of show it to you, and talk about etiquette, and that's it. So, you know, again, my Instagram is linked in the bio, so you could come follow me there for updates on my channel and planning my own trip. Pretty soon I am booking my advanced dining reservations. I'm pretty excited about that because while I've been to Disney before, I've never had to book my own dining reservations. I've always gone with a group and somebody else has handled that. So I'm kind of excited to try it and hope I get everything I want. But yeah, that's it. So make sure you like and share the video if you found it interesting or helpful. Make sure you share my YouTube channel or Instagram page with any friends or family that you know that might be visiting Disney soon. And I'll see you next week. Bye.